Hey, it's Nitro Nerds here, and this is real-time engine troubleshooting. I'll give you a quick rundown on what I have going on. I was running this OS 0.25XZ here inside of this Hot Bodies D8T. Problem I was having with this OS engine is it was dying once I went to mid-throttle. Okay, so low speed, everything was fine. Once I got into high throttle, mid-range, what it would do, it's hard to say. It didn't even sound like it was leaning out or it was bogging down. It would just kind of go boop, and just die. In fact, I would kind of have to blip the throttle a little bit. If anything, it sounded a little bit more rich, but I tried everything. I tuned it sideways to Sunday, set it back to stock, went through every permutation of different tunes, tried different glow plugs, different fuel, everything. It kept happening. So I thought, okay, well, I just need to clean out the carburetor, and said, you know what, I tell you what, since I'm taking it out and I'm going to work on it a little bit, let's just go ahead and get a new engine. So I ended up getting this clock Novorossy P5 from Clock Race Engines. I also got a new pipe, a 2058 pipe, as well as a new clutch. I put in a new M2C 4-shoe aluminum clutch on this. Problem is, the exact same thing happened. It's dying at full throttle, just like the OS is. The exact same symptoms. So I started thinking really hard about it, and I said it has to be something with this truggy here. In other words, two engines doing the exact same thing. One of them brand new. I haven't even touched the needles on it yet. It's broken in already. I had Neil Smith was gracious enough to break it in for me. So I started thinking, what can it be? Well, there's no binding that I'm aware of. Listen how smooth this is. I checked all the differentials, make sure they're shimmed good. Everything is very, very smooth. So I have to rule that out. I then started thinking maybe it has something to do with the fuel tank. I tried different fuel lines. The cap seal on here seems fine. Who knows, but I have ordered another one just because I kind of need another one anyways. But at this point, here's what I'm going to do. So I started thinking, you know, my Mugen here, everything on it runs perfectly. The engine, the buggy, everything on here is great. So let's just go ahead and take this Nova that's acting up, or that I can't get to run on the D8T, and put it on here and see what happens. If it does the exact same thing, then you know what? Good news. It's something here with the tune or something. We'll get that figured out. But if it runs perfectly like I'm anticipating it will, then I have to think about what the hell's going on here. And additionally, what I'll do is I'll take this B6 and I'll put it on here and see if the B6 begins dying out. All right, so I got the Supernova on my Mugen right here. I'm using the same pipe, the same clutch, the same air filter, and the only differences would be the clutch bell, the fuel tubing, and the tank. Let's fire it up and see how we do. Oh yeah, and technically the engine mounts are different as well, but again, I don't think that's affecting it. But it's important to denote every single variable. This is how my mind works, at least when I'm troubleshooting something.
Okay, it fired right up.
Interesting. So it did kind of what I thought would happen. I ran it through a tank. It ran fine. I mean, obviously it's not tuned. The needles are still at their stock settings, but it didn't cut out. So at this point, I'm thinking it has to be, because the only thing that's different is the fuel tank, the clutch bell, and the clutch bearings. The clutch bearings on the D8T that I'm running seem fine, but I'll put some new ones in there. And the fuel line, of course. So at this point, I think what I'll do is throw the B6 into the D8T. The B6 has been performing wonderfully, no problems whatsoever, and see if it begins cutting out. And then at that point, I know for a fact that it's definitely something related to the truggy. And again, I think it has to do either with the tank, the tubing, even though I tried new tubing, or the clutch bell. I just don't know what else it could be, but I guarantee you, I'm going to figure it out. This is into part 1. Thanks so much for watching. Part 2 will be up very, very quickly in the next day or so. Have a great day.